Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? With the caveat that the last time I reviewed an ink by this company, people have very strong opinions about this ink brand. I'm going to try and tread lightly. All I ask is that you be respectful and understand that I am just showing what these results from my tests were. These aren't the end-all be-all. This isn't the final answer, you know. The ink in question is Pilot's Iroshizuku Yama Budo, which is sort of a pinkish purple, or I guess I should say a purplish pink type of ink. So I got the chromatography. As you can see, there's sort of like this slight little gray dot that remains, and then it goes up into a very bright, vibrant pink, and then sort of into a darker pink right there. All the tests were done in these two pens. This is Kaweco Ice Sport with a medium nib. Not that it'll focus. It's got Levenger's Cardinal Red in it at the moment. And this Italix Parson's Essential with a medium Italic Stub. In fact, I think it's got, what is it? Oh, it's got Ackerman's 00, the Royal Unwashable Blue. Anyways, again, this is a personal opinion. I don't think that so far in my experience with the two inks that I've tried so far, it is not worth it, personally, for me. For the price, this is just the glass bottle. This does not include the weight with ink in it, and it is, as you can see, 239 grams. That is a lot of glass. It's a beautiful bottle. But yeah, the ink also is somewhat, so here it is. Here's Yama Budo. As you can see, it's sort of a pink, or it's a purplish pink. Has some shading. I thought I'd compare it to Diamine Merlot, Noodler's Burgundy, Private Reserve Burgundy Mist at an angle, Noodler's Swaro Wine, like Swaro Cactus, Levenger's Cardinal Red, and Levenger's Claret. So yeah, top down in density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. These inks in general are thought to be slightly lubricated, in general slightly wet, and they did flow just slightly wetter than average out of both of those pens. The Kaweco medium was 10 seconds to dry. The medium Italic Stub from Italix was 7 seconds. I said you don't get much shading, but you do. You do get some shading. It's not super bold in your face. That was partly why I wanted to use the Italic nib, or the crisp Italic nib, because I thought it would really bring out some of that shading, and it did a bit. The color is not my personal preference, but it does sort of take on this weird woolly type of texture. I've heard that there's something about the pH balance in these inks. It's not quite pH neutral, and it can have some reactions to the papers. Maybe that's why it was affecting it. The water test is pretty messy, and if you look, it kind of feathered and exploded a little bit, and yeah, that was a little odd, but some remain, so that's not too bad. Next is Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter. The medium Kaweco took 11 seconds to dry, and the Italix Medium Cursive Italic Stub took 7. I said there was no shading, but I guess I wasn't really paying attention, or maybe it took time to show up, but there is some shading. You can definitely see it in the stub, like in boxing. Someone scratching at my door. That's really, really gone. Yeah, it's very gone. It dyed the page, but I mean, some remains. No bleed. Next is Tomoe River Paper, where the medium took 13 seconds to dry, and the medium metallic took 9. And here you see some of this gold sheen that you see, or that, you know, it's kind of known for producing in wetter situations. And there's a little bit in the writing, but it was easiest to get in the scrubby. Not so much in the italic nib, but in the round nib. You might be able to see it there at the top with the 5. But yeah, slightly wet flow. I said it might almost look like a hardier J.R. Bond's Rose Cyclamen. Or sorry, yeah. There's no bleeding, no feathering, no spread. I said there was a decent bit of echo for such a fairly light ink. As you can see there, you can actually kind of see it from the other side a little bit. But again, water test, most of it washed away. Made a bit of a mess. There is a little bit at the center. Here's the world's worst 20-pound copier paper, where I only used the medium Kaweco. Took 3.5 seconds to dry. I said the bleed was worse than I'm happy with a medium nib. You do, and it's all throughout. It's not localized. But yeah, bleed, feather, and spread. I got it, the line width got much broader. Like if you look here, yeah. Here there really wasn't much shading. I mean, here, yeah. So water test was explosive and very brightly colored. Yeah, so it would not be easy to recover, but there would be something left. Next is Mead Notebook Paper, where again someone's throwing themselves at my door. Here I just use the Medium Ice Sport. Here you really don't see any shading. 2 seconds to dry. I said I suppose the bleed could have been much worse. Where you really only get dots from each letter instead of whole letters, I guess. But yeah. So the spread is noticeable. I'm going to try and compare it to the... Yeah, if you see that pilot versus that pilot. So, yeah. Not perfect. Water test, you know, was explosive and very feathery and very brightly colored. It would be difficult to read, but I guess if you had to, you could recover something. Now, this is that weird Moleskine notebook paper that's super well behaved. Like, you see how this side is kind of glossy? Whereas this side isn't really as glossy. For some reason, this paper, it's older Moleskine paper, is really well behaved. So take all of this with the supreme grain of salt. I used both pens this time. Yeah, the medium took 8 seconds. The medium metallic took 6. Here you get shading. Water test was a bit problematic, but yeah. Well, okay. People have very strong opinions about this ink and this brand. Even if this was a color that I liked for this performance, I would not be willing to pay the demand. It's just a little too unpredictable. The flow is just a little wetter than I would like. I mean, you know, in addition, I mean, I like my pens wet, so an ink this lubricated would not be ideal for my personal situation. It's very expensive. I mean, just at the beginning, it's very expensive, and then to ship it, because I don't know many places that, you know, that I can just walk to that have this. So yeah, people love this ink. I'm not its biggest fan, but, you know, I'm not its biggest hater either. So for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. Bye.